I buy some real gems sometimes. All right, so what do we have here? This is a post 1998. That's about as far as I can get right now. 445. Got 2,000 some odd hours on it, I believe. Well, look. 2,194 hours. Kind of a turd, if you want my opinion. Engine leaks, or the engine oil leaks. You see it all over the deck there. I mean, the engine's just covered in oil. Hacked up wiring job. Panels, I actually have the two side panels, but they're just shot, as is the grill. Typical wire nut, you know, home brew, didn't really care, or wire nut it all up fix. For something that could have been fixed for a $20 part, one of the, or $20 or $30 part, but nope, we're gonna wire nut it up and make it look like trash. You know, yeah, everything about normal that you would expect with these machines. It runs, but only at idle, so I don't know why. I don't know how long it's been sitting, anything else. Just picked it up at auction, and like I said, it did run, but it ran, but it only ran at idle, and so we actually ended up using a forklift to put it on the trailer. So yeah, here it is. I'm gonna set the camera up and we're gonna take the deck off. Now, why on earth did I buy this machine? I bought it for a couple reasons. One, seems kind of stupid, but I wanted the front tires for the 455. At the same time, I wanted some of the electrical components for somebody that needs them, and then I wanted another 60-inch deck. I think this one's in pretty good shape. We'll get it out from underneath there, and the price was cheap enough that if absolutely necessary, I can, you know, just basically just drop it and be done with it. But I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna steal the front tires off of it. I'm going to take the deck and sit it in a future project area. I want to look at the gear case on this deck. I've had an interesting gear cases the last little bit. Obviously, doing some videos, things along those lines. And I want to get into some of the electronics, along with I want to do some diagnosis. This is kind of my own fun. I don't know how much of that will be on video. I want to get into some of the fuel electronics of these electronic fuel injected machines. So I basically bought this machine for me to play with. Like I said, I don't know how many things will be on video. It evidently did have a power flow on it sometime, and it has the brackets back in the back for the MC519 cart right there. No extras. It actually had that light in it when I picked it up the other day, and the lens fell off, and the housing was sitting on the trailer. Now, my other machine that I picked up, why, I don't know, seemed like a good idea at the time, is this one. So if you remember a couple years ago, I had a lot of fun with that 3215A John Deere reel mower. Well, I figure I might as well buy a Toro. Kind of cool. It is definitely, I'm not going to keep this around. I mostly bought it because it came with some spare parts that are actually, most of them are already sold. So I'm basically into this machine for very, very little money. And by doing that, I basically get a I think it's a 25 horsepower Mitsubishi L3E engine. So funny part with this machine, it's got an electrical problem. I think that's most likely why they parked it. And also the reels are just flat worn out. So I actually got 5 new reels with it. But the engine itself runs great. It's got 3,000 or maybe 4,000 hours. Well, look as I fall. It's got 4,778 hours on it. Like I said, it's got an electrical gremlin somewhere. The other day it was running and now the key won't even come on, so there's something somewhere, either a seat switch or I think there's something wrong with the glow plug controller, which is actually underneath the seat. I played with it the other night in the dark when I got it home, because that's why it's still sitting on the trailers, because I didn't still sitting on the trailer because I drove it under the trailer, but now I can't get it off. And there's no really good place to lift these things. So that right there is the glow plug controller. And it seems like there's an issue there. So I gotta wire some stuff up. Not too necessarily too inclined to do this on the trailer right now when it's, I mean, you see the jacket I'm in out here, and I had gloves on. I can't open this one-handed. Maybe, yeah, there we go. All right. So there's the Mitsubishi L3E engine. Like I said, it runs really nice. It ran for 20-30 minutes when I ran it for 4,000 some odd hours. I'm actually really impressed with it. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with the engine, but I think what I'm going to do when I finish taking all this crap off is I'll probably cut the frame right here, and this will just be its own, I'll put it on a skid and call it good, and it'll be its own power unit because it'll have the drive shaft coming off of it. So, you know, we'll see. But this will be a fun project. I get to play with the glow plug controller some. If I have to replace the controller, it's 35 bucks, so cheap enough. And just going to play with some electricity. It sounds like a fun project. So let me, oh, I also got that 46 blower right there. I wasn't paying close to that. This 46 blower is why you should never buy stuff at auction. I got hosed on this deal, but that's okay, it's my fault, I bought it. 46 blower, you know, looks in half decent shape. You know, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it until you look at that mess right there underneath the flapper. This thing's pretty much toast. It's been worked on numerous times already, so it's shot. It came off, supposedly came off an X724, so it does have an X series drive shaft on it. So I'll take that and put it in a pile of parts that I like, and you know, take the rest of the parts off and call it good. So the cylinder itself ties to a quick hitch angle cylinder or lift cylinder. I think they're the same thing. So I can take that off and sell it if necessary. But yeah, I'm into this a little bit more than I wanted to be. But that, you know, it happens when you're shopping at auction. You know, like I said, I'm not into the Toro very much. The 450 or the 445 is, I would say on par with market value. I got this a little over $1,000 in it, and then this one on the other hand, I've got like $500 in it, which that's kind of a waste of $500 if you ask me. When I actually laid eyes on it, some of the stuff didn't come out in pictures quite the way that it should have, but you know, you live and learn. Sometimes that's why you take chances. Sometimes it turns out good, sometimes it doesn't. So let me set up the camera here and we'll get the deck off this machine. All right, removing these decks, which I've done some videos on this before. It is pretty easy. So basically let the front draft plate down, and you got to get under here. I'm just going to set you, tilt the camera up a little bit. Oh, there you go. So next thing you need to do is take the drive shaft off. All right, it's mostly off. Now I gotta get a screwdriver to get these parts off. All right. One pin. opens. All right, now the fun part. Man, that's a much easier way to remove a deck. All right, so let's see here what we got. An extremely dirty deck. I'm gonna hate to lift up those covers, but we're gonna have to do it here eventually. Oh yeah, look at that nice goo in there. I'm sure it is just completely covered, stiff as the drive shaft was, and look how often it was greased. I'm guessing that this shaft has not been, or this deck has not been off this tractor in many years. That's just a guess. We'll see what it looks like underneath when I get it up in the air. Now we can actually look at the tractor itself. I think it's still leaking oil based on the puddle underneath the tractor. And yeah, such a gem. I buy such fine machines. Missing the serial tag. Maybe the serial tag's in front of the engine. Nope. Doesn't look like there is one. Sometimes there's one up here. I don't see one. So, I suppose it's been pressure washed off at some point. I know it's a later machine, just based on the front steering mechanism. Before, I can't remember when they did the, let's see if we have a date here. Manufactured date on the radiator is 9/16 of 97. So my guess is this is a 98. So although with 2,000 some odd hours, I highly doubt it has the plastic camshaft in it. If it does have the plastic camshaft, I'm pretty sure that's just like a world record for hours on a plastic camshaft. So let's see if the battery's even held a charge. Nope. So I'll see if I can get this to run a little bit better, and we will go from there. I'll at least make this video to where you see me try to crank it. All right, let's try it out. I actually did try it out and I fired right off, but we'll try it again because I identified a problem. So first off, I'm pretty sure that Schumacher charger that I paid $150 for on Black Friday is complete junk. This is the first time I've ever taken it out of the box and used it, and it keeps popping the breaker. I've tried 2 different outlets. I took the battery off, tried to use the starter part. I tried to charge a battery, nothing. And I tried to charge a known good battery, and it keeps popping breakers and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure it's just $150 wasted. Goes along with that Schumacher battery thing that I bought that was a complete waste of $79. Anyway, let's see if we'll fire her up here. So, fires right off. Has trouble idling. It shuts off when you advance the throttle, but Oh, that was not good. That was running at wide open throttle here just a second ago, because that's how I started it. There we go. So clearly it has some type of fuel issue. Now, the problem I identified, and I don't know if you can see this, I heard some bubbling. Well, I'm not going to do it this time because it didn't quite run as long. But basically I popped that off, and the thing about it is the engine ran for less than 20 seconds, and there was definitely pressure in the radiator, which is great. That means that I've got a head leaking. Let's go ahead and pull this radiator cap the rest of the way off. Oh yeah, and there's a little bit of oil in there. Look at that right there. So tells me that got a head leaking, all kinds of problems, right? Why would I buy a nice machine? So looks like this one's gonna come apart where it sits, and work on some of the electronics and stuff. I would like to figure out, I do want to know if the injection control module and everything is good. So I'll try to work on it a little bit. I don't know how much of that will be on video because I don't know a whole lot about those things. But that's what I'm going to work on for a little while. But that's the 445 in all its glory. So probably the last video it'll be on it, but it was here. So I'm going to go, I'll probably take some of these other parts and whatnot and put on the faded stuff on the 455, like this parking lever and the throttle cable and this PTO. Actually, I don't think this PTO button will work because this is before RIO, reverse implement operation. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching.